Yo, I apologize, guys. Don't know what's going on. Think we good now. We good? Are we good? I think we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, damn, I apologize about that. Definitely did not expect that to happen, but I guess that's just a glitch in the matrix, you know? A glitch in the matrix, especially when you have a show that we have planned for you tonight. A specific show, when we're getting into all these different topics, you know, maybe the YouTube lords didn't want us to talk about it. You know how big censorship, big tech, big censorship, whatever censorship across the globe, they are trying to cover and delete and block everything that we're talking about tonight. Everything that we're talking about tonight. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still rolling with us, I appreciate it. And after the fact, after the show is over, I'm going to try somehow to edit out the beginning. I don't know what happened. It looks like we're all good now. Looks like we're ready to go. And I believe we should be good. I believe we should be good. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you know. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. This is Mixture of Variety. I go by the name of Patient Zero, one half of the hottest podcast in the world. We're just getting this shit cracking, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up one time, studio audience. Give it up one time. All right, now listen. This is a podcast of variety. Obviously, you figured that out by now. This is a mixture of variety, so that means it's a variety show podcast, right? Right. We talk about anything and everything, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about anything and everything, and that's what makes us unique, and that's what, makes us us. At the same time, it's kind of hard to get sponsors and all that because we do talk about everything and not just one particular topic like most podcasts do. But I don't care about that. I'm not in the business of doing this. I made it too low. I'm not doing this to monetize anything. I feel like monetizing will come with the territory. We've been doing this since January of this year. But more importantly, I have a lot to say and I want to reach as many people as possible. And that's why I use this podcast platform. And I should say we use this podcast platform because the other half, like I mentioned before, the other half of this podcast, she goes by the name of Nikki P. She will not be joining me tonight because of her work schedule, but we are going to figure something out. If we have to record a show earlier in the week, record it and then debut it on YouTube so you guys can watch it, that would work just fine. If you guys are... if you guys are cool with that. It seems like that every single day there's major news that's popping and major news that's coming out. I mean, that is really what's happening, right? So it's kind of hard to do a day that's not, with no news at all. Like, for example, if we post a show on Wednesday or if we record a show on Wednesday and then we record it on Wednesday and post it on Friday. A lot can happen in those 2 days. That's basically what I'm saying. But she's not here tonight. She's working late in closing, and she works harder than anybody I know. But she is an intricate part of the show, and make sure to check her out and myself out. Mixture of Variety. All you have to do really is just search Mixture of Variety podcast on Google, and everything will pop right up. We're on every major podcast platform, not just YouTube. We just started YouTube. This is the YouTube show. We are officially YouTubers. It is a beautiful thing. We love doing it. It's a lot of fun. A lot different, definitely a lot different. I mean, seeing this whole setup and having the technical difficulties like we had, at the start of the show, rarely ever happens with the audio show. And it's just a lot different not having a camera shoved in your face too, when you're trying to get your point across. But at least for the last month or so, if not longer, I have no concept of memory these days. It seems like there's more and more stuff that needs to come out that I'm kind of like stepping away from the usual stuff that we talk about. And we can talk about anything and everything, like I said. We truly do. We can talk about anything from mental health and addiction to having sex with gay, midget aliens, and everything in between. So obviously that's a broad spectrum of ideas, right? A broad spectrum of topics, if you will. And we talk about it all. Hip-hop, relationships, sex, mindfulness. The list goes on and on. But more recently and more importantly has been the stuff that's been going on in the world today. That seems like there is new stuff to talk about every day. And the stuff that I'm talking about is the stuff that big censorship, big tech, politicians, government, the globalists, the New World Order, etc., doesn't want out. Okay. There are people that are believing the lie. There are people that are truly feeding into the bullshit. And I'm not planning on doing a podcast to change those minds. I'm not trying to do a podcast to change people's minds. All I'm really doing at this point is putting the information out there. And don't worry about how I get my information. It's you either believe me or not. You don't have to believe Patient Zero just from a random podcast on YouTube, right? You just came across. You don't have to believe me, and you don't have to believe us, because I have a very special guest coming very soon. We put the information out there so then you guys could do your own research, and hopefully that research is not cable news, mainstream media, CNN, shit like that. Like, people, if you're getting your news from that, then I really do feel bad. It's nothing but propaganda, nothing but bullshit, nothing but lies, and nothing but manipulating, contortion perspectives. Okay. And once again, that's just my point of view. And we're going to get all in my point of view in a second. We have a very special guest. Like I said, Nikki P unfortunately couldn't make it, but we have a very special guest. I've been building this up all week. I've been very excited to have her on the show. She'll be joining me soon, and she is the exact person that I need to talk to and that I want to talk to, and the exact person that you guys need to hear from. Okay. She's doing her thing on social media, and she's spreading the word out there, and she has her own website to try to, put forth the movement and push the movement and help other patriots. She is a true patriot, true Christian conservative patriot. And I absolutely love and adore people like that, because these are the people that we have to link up, stick together, and have each other's backs, because nobody else is going to have each other's backs. When you have the mainstream media, the entire media, the government, politicians forcing, which obviously we're going to get into, forcing and mandating these shots. I'm not even going to call them vaccines. These shots. Some people are not even thinking that, wow, isn't there something strange about this? That, forget all other medicines, forget vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D, getting outside, breathing exercises, taking care of your health, losing some weight, for like the prevention of this, virus that has a 99.7% survival rate. It's like, if you are that scared and that nervous about that, shouldn't you be even more scared that they're trying to introduce a poisonous experimental gene therapy shot into your body where you obviously don't know the short-term effects, although they're coming out now in the statistics and they're horrific. And you definitely don't know the long-term effects. So what is the agenda behind that? What is the agenda behind that? There's people that, like I said, they just go with the flow. And I'm not one of those people. I like to question everything. And I like to think outside the box. And speaking of thinking outside the box, I believe Jay the Patriot.
Hey!
Hey, there she is.
How are you tonight?
What's going on? How are you? I'm great.
I'm good. I can't complain. Can't complain. Other than the shit show that we're living in on a daily basis.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, hey, first of all, thank you so much for taking your time and doing this.
Hey,
you have
not
no
a
idea.
problem.
It really does mean a lot because, like I was saying right before you got on, we need to stick together. Nobody has our backs. There's nobody that, they're like the conservative point of view or conservative Christians or patriots in general, people that actually still love this country. We have to have each other's backs because it really is going to shit quickly.
Sorry, I'm going to move my camera so I can just...
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, you look good. I like your shirt a lot.
Oh, very thank nice. You. I'm a big fan, and they don't pay me. I'm like, hey, if you want to, throw me a bone over this way.
Yeah.
But I give them a plug because you know what? I've actually I've worn their stuff for years, and it's grunt style.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty popular Patriot brand, but I've been wearing that for years. My younger brother Thomas, he kind of got me involved in all that. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey, I have a side note. I have a younger brother, Thomas, as well.
Do you really?
That's pretty funny. Yes.
That's amazing.
But, yes, it is. But hey, look, we were meant to meet. It's funny 100%. Because we met so oddly, I would say, because of social media. That's just how it is. Sometimes it's just like, hey, you might know this person or you might be interested in this person. And then, you start to feel the person out and you start to be like, oh, wait a second. Like this person really knows their shit and not only knows their shit, but I can learn from them and I need to communicate with them. And that's why I'm so happy that you're on the show. Do you want to introduce yourself? You have an absolutely impressive bio.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just a little bit of my background. I'm a United States Air Force veteran. I was a medic in the Air Force. And then I got into, I was going to school for nursing and finishing my bachelor's degree in nursing and unfortunately lost my mother. Hold on one sec.
Okay, sure.
I'm dealing with my dog tonight.
Oh, it's all right. No problem.
He wants to play, and it's like, no, mom's working. So chill out.
Right.
Yeah. So Archie made his debut today on TikTok. So it's pretty funny. We'll see how that goes. But
all right, awesome.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying. So I got out and went to go work on my bachelor's degree in nursing, and the whole plan was I was just going to go back into the Air Force, but that didn't end up happening. And hey, everything's happens for a reason. I got into big pharma, I started off as a sales rep, so I know when you're talking about incentives and things like that docs get. I was involved in a little bit of that, and
Okay.
then I got into research. So I got into the research side of it, which basically is patient safety. Is really the big thing that I was involved with. Going through patients' charts and looking for anything that would jump out that would be like an adverse event or something to bring question to whether or not it was involved with said product. So if it was a drug, I've done medical device research as well. So just looking for adverse events that haven't been reported. The FDA is real big on that with regard to my job. I'm not really sure why they're not too big on what's going on with the vaccine, but
Yeah,
that's
very strange.
another topic. But yeah, so it's kind of crazy. And then, another thing that I am involved with is data integrity. So we want to make sure that we're getting the correct data. And,
Wow.
believe it or not, fraud does occur. A fraud, people get into research and they make up patients and they make up all kinds of data points, whether it could be a blood pressure that they just made up or a pulse or a heart rate, excuse me. Pulse is this heart rate or, something even as a temperature. I've seen where they've actually made up patients. So for people to think that
Wow.
the fraud doesn't occur, it does. It does. Unfortunately, it does. And unfortunately, there's doctors out there that, will do it to make a buck. It's all about, it's become to a point where everything is just, we're seeing the level of corruption is just unbelievable. Because we're seeing it in medicine, we're seeing it in law, we're seeing it, in our government, we're seeing
Yeah, I was
it.
going to bring up the election exactly because
Oh,
there's
it's
people that
crazy.
are so oblivious to the fact that
100%.
that can even happen. There's not like there's not a brain cell that exists in their brain that can even
Right.
you know what I mean? Like understand the concept of that even happening because they trust
Oh,
the government that much.
yeah. It's pretty stunning when you look back. I went to a meeting last night, and it was with Byron Donalds. He is a U.S. congressman, and there was a lady there, and she another lady had got up and was talking about the vaccines, and are you aware of all of these deaths and this and that, and he was like, yes, and this lady was not having it. Like, she had major cognitive dissonance. She was not having it. She didn't want to hear it. She was like, that's not true. There haven't been any deaths. And
Wow.
I'm like, wow, this is just wow. And so then it came around to her time to ask her question. And so she asked, oh no, she didn't really have a question. She just had a statement to say that the Biden administration won fair and square and that there wasn't any fraud. And I mean, man, let me tell you, it got rowdy up in there for a minute. And
I believe it.
yeah,
I believe it.
the sheriffs were like, what's going on? Are we going to have
Yeah.
to intervene here? But yeah, it was just, but
No, I totally.
the level of brainwashing, it's
Yeah.
it's horrible. It's horrible.
Exactly. And that propaganda and brainwashing starts at a young age, unfortunately. And some people are lucky enough to, take the red pill, if you will, right? And then some
Yes.
people see what this world really is, and then they do what they have to do to help others, if they can, and make a difference, but more importantly, help themselves
Yes.
maneuver through this crazy world. But I know that the election itself, I know, can be a podcast by itself. And I also know that, have you watched, actually, on a little side note, have you watched any of the what was the guy's name now, the My Pillow
Mike
guy?
Lindell? Yes, I have.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yeah, I
have.
watched some of that too. Some of it was really mind-boggling, and
Bonkers.
mind-blowing, I should say.
Yeah,
uh,
it's absolutely bonkers what's going on. And I mean, just how they went over the anomalies, like, you know, and they're like the probabilities, like there's no way that this could have occurred, and you know, there's no way that this could have happened. You know, I'm not being specific enough, but just going through the data that they had from previous elections, and how, like, for instance, Maricopa County has always been a Republican county, right? It's always been red. And then all of a sudden it just turned blue this election from someone who was sitting in the basement twiddling his thumbs the entire campaign.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you just,
it
really is. It truly is unbelievable. And it really makes me sick because I just feel like if you can't rely and actually, you know, like on the actual elections, and you can't put your honest vote down and expect it to actually go to the person that you know, the candidate that you want it to go to.
Yeah.
This country is just another layer, I feel like, of this country is just deteriorating and getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Right? It seems like every day from something else. And now you look at Biden, absolutely, you know, what he did to the country in the last 7 months is really nauseating and
it's
really
stunning.
Depressing. And stunning, yes, it is definitely stunning.
And you know what's really actually quite concerning is, I mean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you know, when Hitler took charge, when Hitler was put into power, it was within, I want to say, about 66 days it took him to start executing, you know, Jews. So 66 days.
Wow.
I mean, and Germany's not a big country, you know, but I'm just like, wow. I mean, you never think that, like, I told people this, and they would, and I even thought, oh, maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. And I'm like, no, I was right. Oh my God. Cause I kept saying, I'm like, Hitler, it only took 66 days. And although, you know, Germany is not that big, you know, it's possible that this can happen, you know, within the 4-year time frame. So right. Yeah, we definitely have to get to the bottom of it, because if we don't, there will be no 2024.
I agree.
Yeah.
And 2022 even is, like, you know, where people are holding on to right now. But even that, and when you have somebody like Biden, who is this decrepit geriatric nursing home patient with Alzheimer's who belongs in a nursing home, they obviously only picked him as a face, as a body, because they knew that they could just throw him in front of a mic, tell him what to read, tell him what to do, even tell him what, you know, who to call on, what media outlets to call on. Oh, they told me to, you see him after the conference. Oh, you see, they told me to call on, who is they? Like, are you in charge of anything, bro?
Right?
Are you the actual president? Because this is, you know, and then,
like, who's running the show here? I mean, we know
who
China
really
is, but let's, you know, who's running the show?
Right. Which is why I don't even give that much power to Biden itself, because he's just a figurine, and the people behind the scenes, the globalists, the New World Order, whatever you want to talk. Yeah. Actually, let's get right into it. All right. I know we have so much. I'm so happy that you were here. And guys, make sure you check out growlouder.com too. Make sure to check out Grow Louder. Definitely. That seems like, go ahead. X, you want to talk about that for a second? Because that seems like it's got a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah. And, you know, it's so cool because I actually talked to Becca today, and, like, it's pretty exciting. Like, she's like, Jamie, this is like taking off. It's crazy. Like, we have these forums on the site, right? That, you know, I can't take credit for the site. You know, Becca's worked on that. She's worked her ass off, and I kind of came in kind of towards the, you know, middle part of this whole process. So I really got to give, you know, Becca Joyce a friggin' round of applause, because I'm telling you, she's really, truly helping people. And so the steam is picking up, and I've been meaning to have her on my podcast to talk about it, but she's like, you know, I think it's happening for a reason that we've kind of gotten delayed, because, I mean, she's got so many orders. Like, believe it or not, people are not, they're, you can print the forms out on the website, but she also has it where people can order a packet and she'll mail it to you along with, there's a vaccination like exemption card in there. And
yes, I saw that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
I love it.
yeah, and so so she's just busy. So she called me today, and so what she wants to do, she wants to start like a group for each state. Okay, so what we're doing is we're looking for volunteers that would like man a page on Facebook so that we can get the information out to anyone that's on these pages, right? So we're starting to work with that, and then also coming up with some resignation letters for like, say, school board members or whoever else to ask for their resignation. And so she's working on a lot. It's a great tool for people to go to, and empowers them because they're printing all of this off, they're reading it all, and it's in line with the Constitution. Okay, we have rights under the Constitution. So this is an awesome book. I got it. I got this book. It's like $10. It's the Constitution, and so anyway, I'm big on the Constitution, and these vaccine mandates, man. Let me tell you, they are so unconstitutional, and they're trying to bully people into getting these vaccines, and it's unacceptable. I mean, it's like it's your right. It's your right. At the end of the day, it's my body, my choice. I mean, right? Didn't that work for the left for the longest? So
for the abortions, yeah, of course,
exactly.
Of course, that's
so
exactly what they were saying. And then they throw it into our face, like, well, wait a second, and then you just mind fuck them real quick because be like, wait a second.
And this coronavirus, and I'm not saying that the virus isn't real. It's obviously real. It's a bioweapon. I mean, we got to be honest. But at the end of the day, it's like it's over the top with the mainstream Operation Mockingbird. Let's infiltrate the press and just the fear mongering, and people are literally like in this. I call it like a state of psychosis, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Bit of behavioral education background. When I went to nursing school, my mom passed away, so I switched my major because I didn't want to like wait around for another year to go into the nursing program. So I went into psychology and neuroscience, and then I was working on my master's in clinical psychology. So I got a little bit of that. But I think a lot of people are they're suffering from this psychosis where they've just been, it's constant. And they have this cognitive dissonance where you're trying to tell them the truth and they can't accept it. It's like their brain just totally just shuts down, and it's like, forget about it. You're not going to get through to them. And unfortunately, that's going to be God's job, right? That's going to be God that's going to be God's job to wake those people up.
Yeah, we just have to pray for them, right? And just
and that's
hopefully that they either wake up or they become on the right path, or
you'll be loving. And that's one thing I can say about TikTok. Like, I think amongst the patriots, we engage with these shills and these people who have like this like antagonist bullshit. And we spend so much time like dealing with that, where you have true people that are like waking up and they really want help and they really want direction. And it's like, you just don't even know you don't even know how to navigate that. So, I know I've been guilty of it, where I'm thinking I'm dealing with somebody who's just being a smart ass, and, luckily this person was like, no, I really want to know, like, what do you, who do you listen to, and who, this, that, and this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So I think we talked about this on my podcast yesterday with my friend Moni, is that we have to learn compassion. We have to be compassionate because
Yes.
we've all been psychologically abused. Let's be honest. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. So we've all had a level of some sort of brainwashing over the years. So I was just fortunate. I never really watched the news. I just never really watched it unless there was a crisis. So,
Yeah, that's probably everybody's best bet. But then you just get sucked into it at a young age, or, that's where you find out all your information and whatever is being projected on that screen.
Yes.
Or let's say newspaper, old school, or online or whatever it is. If it's from these, actual companies that they have been watching and putting in all their time and, energy into over these years, that is the truth. And you can't tell them any different. So when you try, like what I try to do on this podcast, it's a mixture of variety. We talk about anything and everything. This is not the only topic that we talk about. However, because things have been getting so crazy lately, I definitely have been putting a lot more time and energy into doing shows like this, because how I feel is, first of all, I have to get it out somehow. And I also think that there are people, like you said, that just don't know maybe where to even reach or where to go to, or you know what I mean, like where to even start. So if I'm going to be the one, maybe, and you and others who can at least start up the conversation and at least make people think about things a little bit differently, or at least, because I always say, like, don't believe patient zero, don't believe, me, I'm just a podcast host. Go and find out your own information. But what I'm telling you is that, isn't it a little bit weird that they're pushing the vaccine so hard on something that is 99.7% survival rate, and it's because it's all about fear. Right. It's all about fear. When it first came out, all it is about control and power. They don't give a hell about our health. They never did.
Nope. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about anyone.
Of course not.
That's where we need to understand, like, that's left, right. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. They don't give a shit about any of us. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like Michael Jackson said, they don't care about us. They don't.
Yeah. Right. That's absolutely true. Yes. So, okay. So let's bring it back before we touch on the vaccine real quick, or, the quote unquote vaccine. When the actual virus came out and it was all about fear and control, when they saw what they can do to us, what they can do to a society with an invisible weapon. And yes, it is a bioweapon. And it's funny because in May of 2020, we have it documented on our audio podcast. We have it documented that we were talking about, saying that it came from a Wuhan lab, and people were thinking, people stopped listening to us. People were calling us names. People were calling us conspiracy theories, whatever, like that, conspiracy theorists. And then look what happens a year later. It's just like, and then I always say, like, what's the difference between conspiracy theories and reality? About 6 months, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just like people think that I'm pulling this out of my ass. I'm not. I'm giving you information. If you want to take it, you want to take it, then take it. If not, I'm putting it out in the universe. And anybody that's doing podcasts, they're putting it out in the universe. And if people want to go on the other end and receive it, then that's what will happen. But the virus is not the issue. Jay the Patriot.
No.
We got the scare tactics, fear mongering, like you said, the businesses locked down, the isolation, the quarantine, the staying away from each other, the the kids being pulled out of school, the disgusting bacteria-filled face diaper that we're just breathing in our carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide all day, all that, like the after effects of this invisible virus is really what happened.
And just to kind of add to that, what's concerning for me is the psychological effects. I mean, you're
absolutely.
talking about kids that are they're in this, the prime of their life, where they're building social skills and
100%.
all that, and you're covering them up, and they're not even at risk. And then it's what I don't understand about all these, like, you have all these different school boards, like here in Florida. I live in Florida, and Sarasota County, there's a tyrant up there, and I'm like, these people have too much control. Like, this is nuts, and like, I'm going on Monday to our board meeting at Lee County, which is in Fort Myers, because they're still fighting it. It's like, why are we fighting something that it's like makes sense, people? Like, let's use our brains. And you know what? It's not about using our brains. What it is that they're trying to push this communist agenda. And I said this. I was like, I had someone tell me, I'm not worried about communism. And I'm like, you need to be very worried about communism, because that's why I served. That's why my father served. That's why my great grandfather and all of my, great uncles, that's why they served. So
amen.
Communism within our borders. And now we have communism within our borders. So it's like, damn, I'm not one of these that's like, I told you so. I'm really not. But I'm like, man, I do love it when I'm right, because it's like, come on, I don't know. It builds credibility, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Why do you think this is? Like, why do you think this is happening to us? And I'm not saying that as like a victim perspective. I'm saying that as, why are these globalist people exist with the heel of their boot on our neck constantly, and it seems like it's getting worse? It's either from generations before, decades, centuries before, right, an entire generation before. Because I feel like, we're talking about, let's say everybody's getting together in this whole, mesh of madness, like the CIA,
right,
nations of the G7, the CCP, which you mentioned, basically the communist, CCP is just where it's at. They want to take over anyway. They basically control the WHO, right? The World Health Organization, the UN, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, George Soros.
Yep.
Anybody that owns the Federal Reserve Banks, King and Queen of England, the Vatican.
Right.
It's like, you know what I mean? And then, like, are we really these little human peasants that, as the mayor of New York City said yesterday, humans do really well with carrot and stick? Mayor Bloomberg said that. Are you kidding me? I literally wanted to go punch him in the face after I heard that.
I mean, it's gosh, so, I could say so much. You mentioned all those names, right? And all those names you can just blanketly put under an umbrella, the cabal, right? And yes, they are coming for us because they can't stand us, because they're not of us. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
Yes,
So
I like that.
They're not of our kind. And you can do a little research in that. There's a really awesome series called, your listeners, I don't know if you've even seen it, but it's called The Fall of the Cabal, right? And so now, I think the other day I was on episode 17, and this lady is a Dutch, she's a Dutch documentary. She makes documentaries, and she's amazing. And the research that she does, it's amazing. And this goes back a long time. Like, this goes back thousands and thousands of years. And this is just, it literally is. And I couldn't believe this when I found this out. Like, I didn't even know anything about this, right? That this existed, but there is evil that exists, and they are, it's here. And I truly, I don't know if you've ever seen the show. It's called The Hunters, and Al Pacino's in it, and it talks about the Fourth Reich. And they're basically, what they are Nazi hunters, right?
Oh, okay. I definitely heard of it.
Yes.
I've not seen it.
It's like, it's pretty graphic, but it's like, oh my God, that's what we're dealing with. Like, we're really dealing with the Fourth Reich here. And it's like worldwide. And it's, at the end of the day, they're Satanists. They're not of God. They're not of us. It's just, they're not. And, we're dealing with really, really evil people. You're dealing with, in Hollywood, they're just pansies. They're just hired help. They go and they, push the agenda and all of that. So You
Yeah.
know how that is. So yeah, it's just there's so much information out there. Like there's another, okay, so follow the cabal, and I can send you that information too.
Please, yes, please do. Yes.
Like follow the cabal is a really good one. There's also one, hoaxed, is a good one. That's HOAXED. There's there's a whole bunch on the pharma business. There's so many documentaries out there about that. There's another one, Vaxxed. Vaxxed is a really good documentary. And it just, when you watch these, especially if you're just waking up and you start to watch these, they start to like regenerate your brain, right? And you start to get like these, new neural pathways that are communicating, and you're constantly just like taking in so much information. It's kind of like the neurological part of your brain, the chemical part of your brain, it starts to wake up, right? And so then that engages your critical thinking skills, and then the common sense kicks in, and you're just like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, I'm going to discern from this. Okay, I'm hearing it here, I'm hearing it there, I'm hearing it here. Wow, you know what? This might be something that might be true. So when they sit there and they lump people in, they say, okay, conspiracy theorists, it's all about the cults, and, Trump supporters are in a cult. When you're in a cult, you don't think for yourself. So that kind of goes against what a conspiracy theorist is. A conspiracy theorist basically is out here like, no, this makes sense, sounding the whistle. And it's just, I don't know. We're in a sad state where, I mean, it's better. Trust me, it's better than 6 months ago. I'm just like over here, just so excited about how many people have woke up. I mean, today I was like reading like some tweets that someone had sent me of people just saying, oh my God, I can't believe I voted for Biden and all of this. And I just think, we have to be the ones that step up and be the leaders and say, you know what, it's okay. It is okay. Like, we're going to get through this. We just need you to get on board, get them up to speed, tell them what's going on, so that they really get the gist of it. And, I think with the main thing right now is we've got to get these lions, people that are like this, the silent majority. And they are, I'm telling you, there were a lot of them yesterday. I was like, this is awesome. So it's just waking people up to be like, you know what? Oh, no, and we've just gotten to a place of complacency over the years, and that's not our fault. That's by design. And, we don't have time to be victims and sit back and say, oh my God, I can't believe I wasn't more involved in all this. It's like, now make the decision. Okay, I'm going to be engaged. And now what am I going to do moving forward? Because
that's all it's about.
Can't worry about what happened yesterday, right? We got to move forward. So it's like, accept the people that are waking up, be kind to them, because, they have been psychologically, messed with. So, they've been a part of a psyop that we've been part of. And
to decipher that, it's not going to take 24 hours. You're not going to say this is what it is and now believe it. If we all woke up and in our the way that we did and how we did, it's just gonna, we can't expect anything. But I definitely like what you said. Like, you can't have any guilt or put yourself in a depressed state or something. I should have done this. I should have done this. All we have is this moment. Let's keep it moving forward.
At the end of the day, that's non-productive, and we have to. We can heal from that later. I mean, we're going to have plenty of healing coming when the shit hits the fan. And I truly believe this shit is going to hit the fan. And God, I really and I some people look at me like, okay, whatever, Jamie, but I truly believe that this is a biblical time. We are seeing so much playing out that's been in the Bible and history and all of this, that, I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing time to be alive. It's an amazing time to, start thinking about the things that you've wanted to do, because I really, truly believe the greatness plan is coming, and it's going to be amazing. We just have to have a little faith that, I truly believe. I don't know. It was so crazy because yesterday I had my friend Moni on, and we were talking about spiritualness, right? And I just told her that last week I just had this like low level depression, right? Just kind of just low line, nothing to be concerned about, but I just felt this heavy energy, right? This heavy energy of something like battling, like there was something just going back and forth. This energy, just like something, just the energy. It was weird.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that that's what's going on, that we're not able to put our fingers on it because it's happening, in the midst of everything. So I just, I don't know. I know that our destiny is not to end up in concentration camps. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. And, do I dabble a little bit in Q? I'm not like into Q, but I listen to certain things about it. Like I'm not in it because, let's be honest, that's all military intelligence. So why would I be in it? I wasn't in military intelligence. So, and, some people will argue it and say, oh, you guys it's a pipe dream and all this. And it's like, well, we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, they have all of this evidence of election fraud. And a lot of those guys are military intelligence. So,
Yeah. Hey, I like that. You remember that song, Things That Make You Go, I like that. I say that a lot. I say that often.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong to question everything. And
even
if it's little, and you should, even if it's, no matter what it is, like to learn and gather information from everywhere. I think that's the way. And then you just analyze it yourself. Sometimes I really, especially recently, I felt myself getting consumed and kind of overwhelmed with everything that's going on. But it's like you can't escape it, because if I, when we stop doing the podcast, it's still right out our window. It's still right on social media. It's still everywhere that you look. And it's one of those things where you have to be in it. You have to constantly be in it, but at the same time, take care of yourself and make sure that you're okay, because it's like that analogy with the when the plane's going down. You have to take the mask. You have to put the mask on yourself first before your child, as bad as you want to put it on your child. And that's just how it is. But I think this whole thing, it was actually good too, because last week I took a week off on the podcast. I was like, I can't talk about it. We were only talking about some fun, uplifting type shows.
Last week. Don't even worry about that, because you know what? Last week was a rough week. It was a rough week. I didn't do anything either. I just was like, I'm so like literally mentally exhausted and just crying, not for myself, but for humanity. Just crying, just like, God, please wake. Let's, just wake people up,
I've never felt in my life in 40 years of existence, and I've been through hell and back. I was active.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, okay, I'll tell you at least this part, because I feel like I have different lifetimes that every 5 years. But you definitely have seen it all as well. But the reason why I brought that up, I'm just saying in particular, was like I've seen hell and back. And I've seen like the face of Satan and demons and all that. And the reason why I say that is because I was in active addiction for 17 years.
Oh, wow. What were you addicted to?
Well, I mean, like everybody, it started off light. It started off, I was just smoking weed and drinking, through high school. Yeah. Through like 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And then after I got out of high school and I got my own place and stuff, and started going to college, I didn't even stay because obviously I was more concerned about working, making money, and using drugs. Ecstasy was a huge one. I started doing ecstasy, like handfuls of ecstasy before going out. And cocaine here and there was just too expensive. I didn't stay with it. And then, I moved around a lot. I actually lived in Florida for 8 years. I
Oh,
lived
really?
in
8 years?
Yeah, 8 years. Yeah, I lived
Where?
in Tampa, St. Pete.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
When did you
And
move from there?
I moved back to New York at the end of 2011,
Oh, wow.
and then went in my first rehab in 2012. Unfortunately, haven't been clean the whole time, but
I don't like that.
have at least like months put together now where actually tomorrow will be 29 months sober. So
29 months. Oh, my
yes,
goodness.
yes. Thank you. So
That's
I mean,
amazing.
but let me just tell you, like the past 29 months, I've been going through my own hell, obviously, because I'm trying to figure out why I'm using drugs all these years.
Yeah.
So that's a lot to maneuver and handle. But at the same time, I'm waking up and I'm starting to realize things, and I'm starting to pay more attention to things, and I can give myself anxiety and panic attacks pretty quickly, just realizing what's going on in the world. But
My camera is sorry. I
You're
hope
fine.
that's not distracting you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're good. But yeah, I mean, so regardless of how it is now, like you said, like all that is in the past. You got to just, stay moving forward. And by moving forward, I just want to continue to, connect with people like yourself, connect with other people. It's extremely refreshing to talk to you, because not only do you know what you're talking about, and you're a very, extremely bright, intelligent person, but it gives me a sense of hope and healing, because I know that people are out there that feel the same like that I am, and they're being censored and left and right.
Yep.
Let me tell you, Jay the Patriot, I think one of the scariest days of my life, was when the sitting president Donald Trump got censored and deleted off of all social media. That, to me, I took a step back and I was like, what is this world that we live in? And I'm kind of now in the same, taking a step back a year later, because I'm hearing about concentration camps, and I'm just like,
yeah.
What did they say? Concentration camps for unvaccinated. What's going on in Australia? Like lockdowns where you literally can't leave your house. You can't look at each other. You can't look at sunsets. What? Yeah. What are you even saying right now? Yeah. And that's like the plan to bring over here. And in my mind, I'm just thinking like, yeah, try it, because the United States has more ammo and guns and firearms and all that than any other country. But at the same time,
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But at the same time, the lockdowns, the passport mandates where you could not go anywhere, do anything in New York City just passed last week, and everybody's just okay, no problem. I'll go along, get the shot with their passport. Little protests here and there, Out of a city out of 8.5 million people, I'm thinking that people are gonna we're gonna have an uprising like we've never seen before, and we're not. And I'm just thinking like, where are these people that I need to connect with? Because they're not these clowns. They're not these soft little clowns that are not going to stand up and just go against according to whatever is told to them. Those are not the people that I need to be around, but those are the people that they'll show on mainstream media and everywhere else. So, we obviously are power in numbers. We definitely are power numbers. We just have to find each other and, reach out. And I'm just so happy that you're doing what you're doing. And, I honestly want to get involved too. Like, I would love to get involved somehow, because I don't know how to get involved, And
see, and that's the thing, is I don't think people do know how to get involved. And, I always say, just start somewhere, like start local, because and one person that's always said this is General Flynn. General Michael Flynn has always said there's power in numbers. If you start at the local level, you will have a national impact. So start at your local level. When go to these school board meetings, and just start going, and then maybe you might feel convicted to get up and say something. You know what I mean? If you want to get up and you want to speak, I mean, I'm telling you, I've seen some parents just like, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like, look at all these lions, man. They're like, no, not my kids. And it's like, it's amazing, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, is the children. And I don't know if you know,
Absolutely.
I don't know how much you know. So I'm just, but it is, at the end of the day, what they say is going on with children and the trafficking. It's true. It's true. It's $150 billion business. That's how much they make a year. And I mean, like there's a movie that's out with Jim Caviezel called Sound of Freedom, and it just kind of depicts everything, and it truly is, it's happening. You can get on and get on Operation Underground Railroad, which is I think his name is Tim. It's either Tim or Tom Ballard, and he used to be a DHS agent, and he, this movie is about him. So it's really, that's what it is about, is they're coming for our kids. And if you think about this, if they're trying to kill us, like, and they're coming for our kids, like, I mean, this is from a species, like, this is survival of our species, if you think about it. And it's like that, when you start to think about that, like, you just totally think about life in a whole different, ballgame, and it's like, you look at other people differently. You don't look at you look at people with a different lens. Like, you know what, this is my brother, this is my sister, and like, I need to be there to help them. So whatever you can do in order to get involved, you got to do it. And so I don't have any kids, but I'm going, because you know what, at the end of the day, they are our future. I mean, I'm not trying to be, like, the children are our future, but they really truly are. And what they've done to, what they've done in indoctrinate, kids that are, in college, and now they want to bring CBT into the, grade school level. Like, what? Like, why are you teaching kids to be like they're less than because of their skin color? I mean, it's like, I heard a pastor say this, that critical race theory it comes from the depths of hell. And I'm like, yes, it truly does, because it goes against everything. I mean, and let's talk about, like, let's talk about, Black people. My goodness, Martin Luther King, like, look everything he's done, everything he did, what he died for was, equal rights. And it's like, hello, people, wake up. Like, this is not the problem. That's not the problem. It's like, they're just manufacturing it. When you wake up and you feel that, you feel it, and you deal with the fact that you're being manipulated, you're just like, you know what, all bets are off. I'm coming out swinging. I don't care what you have to say. People can call, when you get to a point, you're awake, when you're like, you know what, I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I got to do what I got to do. I'm telling the truth. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it with conviction. And I've lost friends because of it.
100%. That's how you know
that are liberals. And I never was about politics until, this just, what's going on made me like, you know what? No, I got to draw a line in the sand.
Right.
You don't get to call me. You don't get to tell me that I'm in a cult because of my values that I've had my entire life. Like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to call me that. No.
Right.
No. And
well,
so,
and you also don't get to, I don't have any kids either, but you also don't get to no matter what you talk about or what you think about critical race theory, it's all about bringing it to the kids, and why do they need to know anything about it? But it's the same thing with like drag queen story time or whatever, or books. They actually have books now, children books, that says, hi, I'm Jill, but I'm also Jack.
What
are you trying to do? Like, what's happening?
I used to think that was harmless. I used to think the whole drag queen thing was harmless. I really did. I just like, oh, okay, whatever. But now that I know what's going on and what the agenda is, this is where I'm like, and they're being used too. Let's be straight up. the community of the LGBT, now that's element of PQRST now,
Yeah.
YZ, whatever
Right.
is
The
now.
alphabet community.
But the alphabet community, I mean, they're being used too. I mean, they've used black people. I mean, they've pitted white people against black people forever, and blacks against whites, and it's just, you know, and they've pitted, you know, Latinos against, you know, blacks, and it's just like, okay, enough with all the separate stuff. Like when I cut my skin, I bleed just like you know, you do. And I put my pants on the same way someone else does, you know, and I'm, you know, I don't feel my shit doesn't stink because I'm white. I mean, it's like crazy. And this whole white privilege, it's like, what? Like, you can be whatever you want to be. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're white, you're black, you're purple, you're green, you're gay, you're straight, you're, you know, whatever you are. Like, be who you want to be, but at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. And
yes. Unfortunately, that's not their agenda, though.
Yeah, this, you know, this propaganda that's put out there to make people, you know, self-limiting. It's like it limits us as a human being, as a species.
Yes.
It limits us. We have so much more potential. And they've just dumbed us down for years and years and years. And it's quite amazing what's going on and people waking up and all of that. And I you know, I know it. I mean, what do you think? You think this is it? You think we're going to end up in war? I mean, what do you think? What are you seeing? Like, with an objective lens, not emotional.
Okay.
You know, just be very objective at what you're seeing around, you know, like, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that, and take the emotion out.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that everything that has happened in Afghanistan in the last week has caused a shit show to implode upon itself, and where the Taliban and Al Qaeda and everybody is going to unite. They have $1 trillion, you know, dollars of U.S. weaponry, advanced weaponry, any type of weaponry. They are going to, I already feel like the next couple days, like, this is not over yet, because we said we had to get out of there by the 31st. So from now, unfortunately, I feel like it's going to be a bloody, horrible weekend. You know, and that is my emotion. My bad. I should take the emotion out of it. But what I do see about it, what I do see happening is that once we, you know, get as many people as we can possibly out there, that's going to be a breeding ground for anybody who is willing to get there, including China, you know, including whoever. And, you know, if they want to combine forces with the Taliban and the Al Qaeda, if they want to do whatever, and then, you know, you never really know what's going to happen. But what I do see happening next is, because of how weak and embarrassed Joe Biden made this nation look, the most embarrassing, you know, over like centuries of how embarrassing and how sad and depressing this little old decrepit man looked. And he made the United States seem. I definitely feel like China is going to do what they said and invade Taiwan, and then that will be probably the start of whatever you want to call it. World War IV, World War V, whatever you want to call it.
Right. It's, you look back and you're just like, what in the hell is?
Yeah.
I know. My thing is like, not to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
But I'm like, he is the commander in chief, correct? Why is he not standing in front of a fucking court martial? Why is he being court-martialed, and why isn't he standing in front of a tribunal is my question.
That's a great question.
And I'm like, can somebody answer that for me? Because, like, this is just crazy what's going on.
It's cringeworthy times a million. Like, you know, when I do say that on social media, I know it's like outplayed, outdated, whatever. But it's one of those things that you watch anytime you watch, and it's just completely cringeworthy, where you're just like, you're literally sitting there like, oh my God, what am I watching? Like, what is happening? And it doesn't matter how he got elected or didn't get elected. It doesn't matter who you voted for. You know, this is the person that is now the face of whoever his handlers are. And this is who we have, Jay the Patriot. This is who we have.
This is what we're stuck with right now. So it's like, you know, what do we, you know, I know that I think his name is Madison Crawford. Shoot, I can't remember. He's a congressman. He's the one that's the paraplegic.
Oh yeah.
He's the one that took the Patriot or the soldiers' pizzas in the garage when they were staying at the Capitol.
Yes, I don't remember his name.
About he filed something today, and I'm trying to find it here because I want to read it to you. So I just want to. Are you on Telegram? You should get on Telegram. It's a great source of information.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was for a little bit, and then I deleted it. I don't know why.
Okay, so let's see. Here he is. I know that he filed. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, it's not here. So let me see. But I'm telling you, he's impressive. So anyway, so he calls. So it's Cawthorn. So Madison Cawthorn,
Gotcha.
He calls for the invocation of the 25th Amendment and immediate removal of Joe Biden. So he started that, and I know that there were a whole bunch of other congressmen that are standing behind him, as well as some senators as well. I want to say that there's like 5 senators on board so far. So this just happened today. So, I mean, I don't know where that's going to put us. That'll put us with, you know, Kamala, I guess, as vice president, which is, this is what the problem is. Okay. Is that it's the administration. Okay?
Right.
Nothing.
It is the administration.
So it's, so at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know, I think the military has some decisions that they need to make and see, you know, what their options are under the U.S. Constitution.
Is that what that is?
Yes, under the U.S. Constitution, and you know, that process. So yeah,
hey, we'll see. Listen, it's a waiting game. You know, every day it's something.
It is.
Every day is something,
right? It's
who would have thought? Who would have thought? Even with all the vaccine hysteria, who would have thought yesterday we would have had a massive suicide explosion bomb in Afghanistan and 12 servicemen? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just we're almost numb to it. I feel, but we can't be numb to it. We have to continue to fight.
No. I got to tell you, I think you know, yesterday people were already pissed off about what has transpired so far. And then they are just, you know, beside themselves today. I woke up and I woke up at like 5 a.m. this morning. I had sniffles. So I went to get an IV. I go and get an IV every now and again. And I went and got an IV, Vitality IV, which is downtown Fort Myers. And I just
want one of them.
Kind of under the weather. So I'm like, you know what? I need to go and have a good vitamin, you know, high dose vitamin C IV, get some glutathione in there and all this stuff. And I'm telling you, I felt like $1 million when I walked out of there because just felt something coming on. And so it's like I'm zinking it up and all that because who knows?
Right. But you'll never hear anything about that as far as, you know, COVID. As far as like, you know, trying to take care of yourself to prevent it or to heal it, ivermectin, all that stuff, right? All the other medications that they push to the side and Google manipulated and stuff. Yes. No, you can't buy this. You have to take the, you know, actually at that time it wasn't FDA approved. Yeah. You have to take this emergency dose.
Yeah.
Well,
fun times. And it's funny that you say that because, you know, I see Joe there, my friend Joe. So anybody that wants a IV, if you're ever in the Fort Myers area, Vitality IV downtown and ask for Joe. And he was beside himself about this whole Afghanistan. He's like, I can't get over it. I can't get over it. And he's like, you still have people that just won't, you know, and him and I have never really talked about politics. I've always dropped stuff. So I kind of assumed that he moved from Colorado. And so like today he like really opened up and was like, I left Colorado because, it was starting to turn blue and, it was creeping in there. And he was like, I got the hell out of there, during this whole COVID thing, because you could see where it was going, and so he just was so upset about the Afghanistan thing. And I was just, and he's like, it's so upsetting. And I'm like, I know it is upsetting. It's bullshit. And, I'm pissed. I'm right there with you, brother. I mean, we have to figure out what we're going to do, and it's crazy. It's like, we've never really been in this spot before. And people are like, they want to get involved. And it's like, how do I get involved? And it's like, I say, you got to get involved at the local level.
Sure.
And then there's also a petition that's going around that I wanted to kind of mention to people. It's, so there's this lady that's on YouTube, and her name is Patriot Nurse, I think it is, on YouTube.
Welcome back to Milkshake Mustaches.
Yeah, the Patriot Nurse. And so she was talking about Convention of States action or succession. She's like, she made some really good points. And so there's a petition that's going around to have a convention of states. So that basically, if you go under Article 5 of the United States Constitution, it basically it restricts the federal government for proposing amendments that will impose fiscal restraints on the federal government, limit its power and jurisdiction, and impose term limits on its officials and members in Congress. So this is one way that people can fight, and that you can go to that. It's called conventionofstates.com. So convention, CONVENTION of states, STATES.com, and you can fill that out. It's a petition
I'll put that down there.
Yeah, and I'll send you that too. But I want to say that they've already have like almost about 2.5 million.
Oh, goddamn.
So yeah, so get in on that, and what that will do is basically kind of just restructure, using the Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
ladies and gentlemen,
there's things you can do. There's things you can do to get involved. You just, ask around, get on different podcasts. You can find a lot. And that's the thing. And Telegram, guy, you got to get on Telegram, because I'm telling you.
Telegram is where it's at? All right.
It's where it's at. There's a lot of information there, a lot of good information. There's some stuff in there that's kind of wacky. And I just it's about discernment. You have to be able to look at something and say, okay, well, could this be true? Or, okay, that's bullshit, or whatever, it's all about discernment.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun to me. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we are out of time. However, that is Jay the Patriot. Studio audience, give it up one time. Give it up one time. Did you know there was a studio audience here, Jay the Patriot?
I did not know. Hey, studio audience.
Yes, indeed. So, listen, any last words or where they can find you? I know they can find you at Real Talk with Jay the Patriot, but I think you have a different name as well.
Yes, I have. Okay, so I have a podcast on Rumble. It's called Real Talk with Jay the Patriot. I've been kind of holding back getting on YouTube because so much censoring is going on there anyway. So I haven't really decided if I'm going to start posting there. I don't know. We'll see about that. But you can follow me there, or you can go and watch podcasts there. I'm on Facebook, Jay the Patriot. I'm currently serving a 30-day sentence there, FYI. Yeah. For posting a video of a press conference. Yeah.
Oh my God.
After a Senate hearing.
Listen,
30 days. I was like, okay, like, and I'm a Florida resident, so it's still happening to Florida residents. There's a conservative guy, conservative aunt. He's been banned too. So it's happening to everyone.
But they can't ban or block everybody. And that's the beautiful thing too.
No, they can't.
When patriots truly unite and we find each other and we do these podcasts and we talk and we spread the news and whatever. Even if it is on Rumble or Telegraph, whatever it is, Telegram. Yeah, Telegram.
Yep.
They're not going to silence everybody, baby. They're just not going to.
No, they're not. But you can find me at Jay the Patriot on Telegram, Jay the Patriot, or Real Talk with Jay the Patriot on Instagram. And then I'm also on TikTok, Real Talk with Jay the Patriot. So
boom, there it is.
So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on.
I'm very proud of you. You keep doing what you're doing, okay?
Thank you. I definitely will. And hopefully this is one of many combos, you know?
I know. And I want to have you on mine too. So
absolutely, yes. I would love that.
All right, honey. Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That was Jay the Patriot. Wow. What a combo. I'm very happy that there was people watching the show live. But once again, I apologize about the situation earlier. But it happens, I guess, when it's live. The first 5 minutes, I was having audio problems and this, but whatever. No need to reenact the same situation, right? That was a beautiful conversation. I hope you guys got something out of it. And make sure to follow her on all those links. I'm going to put it in the bottom of the the comment section or whatever. I will make sure to put all the information so you can find her and you can find the sites that she was talking about where you can, sign the petition and whatnot. And we're going to go from there. We're going to keep it moving. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Patient Zero, one half of the hottest podcast in the world. And that is Mixture of Variety Podcast. Big shout out to Nikki P, who cannot be with me tonight, but you'll definitely see her next week. If you want to catch a live audio show Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, that's Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we go on castbox.fm. Just search Castbox on Google or Apple and you will find it. Very easy to find us. Wait till about 9 o'clock, 9:01, and then go to Livecast. Boom, we're right there. And if you can't catch a live show, it's all good because we're on every podcast platform imaginable. So you can listen to us on iHeart and Google and Spotify and Stitcher and whatever. I said them all. And make sure to follow us on IG as well. And Mixture of Variety on IG. IG is where it's at because that's when you're going to know if I'm going to go live this weekend. Am I? Are we going to do Savage Saturday tomorrow? Maybe. Are we going to do Spirituality Sunday? Yes, we definitely are. That's definitely happening. So you're not going to know the time unless you follow us on IG at Mixture of Variety. And then, of course, this beautiful show. Every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We will go live, and if we don't have a guest and Nikki P can't go live because she's working, unfortunately, that happens a lot, then we'll record the show and then we'll debut it Friday. I'd rather not do it that way, but we have to do it however we have to do it. We got to work around Nikki P's schedule because we're not monetizing off of this yet. But she's a big, intricate part of the show, and we love her. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm Patient Zero. You guys have a wonderful night. Thanks so much for tuning in, and make sure to subscribe, like,